Hello, everybody. Welcome to Valheim Slow and Easy with me, Hank, your host. Episode 20. I'm 99% sure this is episode 20. So, yes, welcome to the show, everybody. It's a beautiful, calm, a little bit of wind, slight breeze here in the base. Things are coming together, though. I've been doing a bunch of work. I did a bunch of offline. When I say that, I mean off camera stuff around the base here. Nothing substantial, but just a bunch of organizing. Tinkered around with my smelting system, and I'm quite happy with the way it's functioning. I've processed almost all the metal that we brought back. All the scrap iron. There's still plenty of black metal to get through. So some decisions around that little spot that we're going to make, but overall, I'm glad that the tedium paid off. So welcome very much. Welcome very much. There's a sentence. Did a little organizing down there just to clear the space up. Something I really want to do is complete this sort of corner, or at least this connections here. I'm not sure if I even am going to do a connection. I'm obviously going to get rid of these stairs and some sort of bridge thing here. So this whole wing, what even side of the base are we even on right here? We got to name these or something. Do I need to build up this wall a bit? But renovating or completing the ground down here and then putting down floor, that'll probably be easy, obviously. But I got to conform it to the grid so it's perfect, because everything has to be perfect. So this whole spot down here is kind of going to look cool, I think, even though it'll be mostly empty. But that will stimulate imagination, as we all like. Don't we love having our imaginations stimulated, if you can find it, at least, right? So that's kind of the housekeeping stuff, as far as like smaller parts of the base project. Oh, another thing I was doing was running around locating and placing. It's kind of a tedious and a frustrating kind of process, but these stone cutters, as well as the workbenches and the forges, which I haven't really completed this part of it yet, but they have a radius with which they're effective, or a range that they affect. And here's how you do it. You got to have a stone out, and then it shows you the circle. See the white circle there? And I don't ever want to have it. I always want to be able to use. I don't want to have to build a new one other than when I'm like out and about. So there's one there that you can see the circle that it's affecting. And so, like, when I step past the circle, see in the bottom, it goes stonecutter red. Blinking none. And so I just want to eliminate that possibility. And it's easy to just, like, put them everywhere. But, of course, I'm trying to, like, line them up in a way that is, like, maximizing the efficiency, which basically just saves me from having to do, like, 3 extra ones or something. So I'm going to be a little bit less precious about that as I complete it. But I did go through and, like, got rid of a couple of them, and relocated some of them mainly and stuff like that. So it's kind of part of this. There was one over here too that I gotta get rid of this stupid chest, or what do they call this thing? Cart. Let's see what's in there. Bunch of junk. Here, let's just grab it. All right, we'll just make a quick. I had just tossed it down there in a fit of rage. Geez, getting pretty full with all that stuff. I'm going to relocate this corner too to a different location, some sort of like vault. Nope, not that. Look at all that stuff. I know you can build these cool chests. I don't think I have one yet. What the heck? It's not in the chest section? What the heck? What am I getting wrong here? Must be in this section, wouldn't it? I want to build a cartographer's table. In fact, maybe we'll do that today. Oh, so the plan for today, I meant to say this much earlier, is we're going to do a little exploring. I'm a little too excited about, not a little too, but I'm excited about my idea of taking the boat through here and then taking a boat, accessing this terraforming project and building a harbor and some structural stuff. And then on that outcropping and this outcropping, gigantic mega structures. One of them is going to be a fish, which will be it's the first one. And then I don't know what I will do after that, but something creative and weird. I'm sure we'll course correct as we get through it. And so that's kind of the idea. But it starts with making sure that we can take the boat through the lake. So I've been putting that off for quite a while. And that'll be really fun to do because it's adventurous. It's away from the base. It gives us a nice break from the tedium of all this housework we do. I've got my giant withering bone collection going on here. There's got to be stuff you could do with the withering bones. Am I right? You know? Can't just be a waste to have all those withered old bones sitting around. Yeah, see, look how great this is. I've processed so much. Oh, that's right. Okay. I know, jumping around a bit. So yeah, we got, what I did is all this metal I've just picked up. I built a transfer spot. So remember, this metal will be then used in the workshop, which is accessible across the bridge. So I want it to be up high. So I can transfer through this box that I did. And I did a little bit of tedious kind of placement of it to make sure it conforms with my current standards. But I also went and relocated this thing. Remember, I had the stairs and I had to like climb up because I couldn't reach it. But now it's low enough that I can actually access it from my standing position. I did some relocating, or I don't even know what words I'm trying to use here. I shifted around the coal and the scrap a little bit here and there. So I've made it so that this area is in more in line with how I like things to be. The first time is usually just sort of prototyping, and then you refine it from there. Already burning through coal pretty well. One thing I did as well is I changed the location of this middle one. It's not perfect. If you look at these corners, aren't perfectly aligned, but I moved it forward so the three of them are a little bit more in line now. And so the process starts. Look at, I have all this scrap process. See that? So the process, you go from left to right or right to left. It doesn't really matter since you got to do both. And then, so I grab 30 if you know they're empty. Fill your 3 with your items. That used up the 3, the stack of 30. And then on my barrel, I've even already started chipping away at my coal pile here. So, even I get kind of attached to the aesthetics of that sort of stuff, and so I feel weird about it. Even it's just kind of stupid. My pile of goods. What are you doing? Using it for its intended purpose. And so yeah, you can see it's super easy to just sort of shift over, grab the stuff. Of course, now I'm out of coal. I've meant to grab more. So here, let me just grab that one. My coal barrel sits empty now, which is sad. And so these things will speak. I think they might have sped these up. It feels like they spit them out pretty fast. So this guy's up there pumping away. I was going to do 2 of them. I don't think I need to do 2. Let's take a look at how much there is. So you see, there's a lot to go through, but I've got a ton of it. I mean, we're going to have a hell of a lot more. And there's like twice as much scrap here back at the Plains farm. Another major step I did, and then we will go build the cartographer's table. I'll finish emptying that cart that I had abandoned in the middle of the project. Is this spot up here, if you remember, was all portals. And they had some single stone piles and a wall of stuff. And so I just tediously took all those names off, tore the portals down, and moved the names down to these. This is a very vulnerable thing, though. If something gets in here and wrecks these, I lose all these names. So I have to make sure I take screenshots or somehow, you know what I mean? Like, this is information that can be erased. You got to think about redundancy in terms of information. So either I shift these somewhere where they're more protected, or so this is all portal building space, goods and items, and Yeah, I don't need this artisan table anymore, but we can leave it there for now. So kind of, you know, this gives me space to use up here. This is kind of in the spirit of the inventory efficiency system that I'm hoping to come up with. So this is going to be kind of like my resource hub. I might even add portals up here, and I'm probably going to do it in some kind of building. I think it's important to shift towards buildings for aesthetics, because it's fun to do that too, mainly. But even though it blocks some of the sight lines from various spots, which is fine. And so I might even have portals like from here to other parts of the base. This base is so big. Like, why not have a portal that opens up deep in the hangar or over by the bread, the windmills and stuff? You know? So we're going to work on that somewhat. Kind of going to be experimental. But I want the inventory to sort of be like we're returning from our bases, our various resource gathering portals, laden with goods, and then we have kind of an inventory-y thing here that we dump. Easy to get the metal, although it will never come back. See, metal's always going to go on the first floor because it can only be transported through ship, foot, and cart, right? So it's going to I'm going to build some sort of like gate defensive thing here around this corner. I want to tear out these trees up here, flatten that, and then this will be the foundation for one of the mega monuments and the mega sculptures. But yeah, so this is going to be kind of the core of the transportation hub will be here, simplified. And then we return with inventory to dump either up here. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe that'll be mostly underneath. But anyway, this platform will form the basis of top-level exploration and, I don't know, inventory, mainly inventory. I need it to be versatile, and so we'll probably go through a few different iterations of how it's going to function. But the idea is that I need to be able to access this quickly and easily. What am I doing? Why the fuck am I clicking hard on craft? I thought I was repairing. Yeah, so let's just dump some of this crap just because it's up here. Yeah, right? Okay. Barrels, hoops, withering bones. Okay. So anyway, I don't need to necessarily think it all out loud right now, but there's still, you know, stuff to figure out. I gotta fix this whole part up. I kind of want to finish up, not finish, but do some, make some progress on this front area and this sort of curved spot. About the only thing I need to keep is this curve. I was pretty particular about how to get these stairs placed and these curves, but you know, this is sort of underutilized spot as well, along with this wall thing. Do I keep this wall thing all the way over here? I think I will a little bit. And yeah, so that we'll return from something, but we're going to have some of these portals will be permanent, or at least somewhat permanent, you know, obviously, you know what I mean, within the context. And so down here will be kind of like resource return. And then maybe over here will be, after I move all the money stuff, and this is just like wood storage up here. Look all this wood I got. It is ridiculous. I think this could be like weapons basis. And so we have our food, our arrows, our weapons, and like armor. This basement is kind of like long-term storage. Obviously, I could do a lot with it. Plus, it's, of course, my hot tub throne, which everybody understands how important it is to have a nice place to relax with your friend. See, look at my friend. Look at my friend. Hey, friend. How are you? What's happening? Oh, your lower half is getting a little wrinkly? Yep, that happens when you're trapped for an eternity between two states of liquid and gas. And yeah, although now that I say I'm like, God, I got to move the damn coals. But yeah, I think this might work okay. So we have a kind of a raw material gathering and inventory, which helps us with, and then our bringing metals in to process. So look how quickly we went through all that shit, right? I turned off the HUD there. Yeah, with 3 of them, man, you just cook this stuff fast. What? I thought I grabbed them all. So I do have some copper that's like based up or boxed up by a copper mine that's on this continent. So that's something I'm going to go do and run it back. And, oops, that's not enough. Let's just grab a bunch. Oh, fuck, not that. I shaved my mustache. If you haven't noticed already, I was watching, and it's this whole process has been rather sad and horrible, and things have been pretty stressful. And then your beard starts falling out. Like, you're just sort of stressed out a lot as foundational, not knowing I was autistic is by far like the main kind of engine factor of the calamity of accumulated stress over the last decade at least. But since I was a kid, obviously knowing I'm autistic doesn't change that I'm autistic. It actually changes the internal narrative, and it's a major thing that's helpful and good and wonderful to know, because not knowing was by far the worst part about being autistic, was navigating an autistic life and brain without that information and that construct and that understanding truly fucked me up real bad. And I think it does to most people that are late identified, but also worse for some than it is for others. Like everything, there's a distribution. And I took it pretty hard because of the kind of autism that I am, which is like hyper emotional, hyper empathic, which doesn't mean outwardly so much, although I do cry pretty easily. And I do, my other show, Winners and Losers, I cry probably every 5th episode. These things just banging out matte tin. Look at the color difference. But the work stress, just fun, haven't been able to get my career together. Haven't really, and all related to like mental struggles and the ability to function and the ability to pull it together, which is difficult even when you know you're autistic. But when you don't know, it's especially difficult. And then, of course, I chose a creative field of career. Even though I could have stayed in the aquarium business and probably would have made really good money doing that, as I can get into that another time. But yeah, what am I trying to say? Oh yeah, so then the beard starts. So all this, and with the Young Turk situation, that was I'm not blaming them per se. It's not, but like that work was very stressful, and I had to start a union in hopes of getting health care and benefits, and then it turned into this crazy drama. And so like now that I'm doing the project on the other channel, I don't know why I feel like I haven't said the name of the documentary yet, but yeah, I'm making a documentary about that story because I was in the middle of this really intense political kind of thing. And I think there's a lot of interesting lessons to be learned, and then trying to promote that and having difficulty getting money. So there's just been a lot of stress. And then my beard starts falling out like 5 or 6 years ago. First, it was one of the sides. It was a patch here and there, a small patch, and it was kind of distressing. I probably should have sought medical attention when it started, but that wasn't really available to me, because seeking and getting medical help in this country comes with stress, comes with this feeling that you're going to go into severe debt, or it's going to cause, so you put it off. That's one of the great ways Americans suffer with medical care being a gift to the wealthy, which is when you get sick, it's a good day for the wealthy. When you break your leg, some stock price goes up somewhere because you're going to have to go into debt. Your life is going to get worse. You're going to be in pain, and it's an opportunity for them to sell you the help that won't be sufficient. Evil. It's evil. It's fucking evil. And so you avoid. So you put it off. And even when you do, eventually, it's stressful. And maybe it's not as bad as you thought. Maybe it's okay, but you just have all this uncertainty. Really gross, really ugly system. Anyway, I've put it off a lot. I had other things that seemed and felt worse, and just difficulties doing it anyway, and kind of put it out of your head. And And then they end up with the beard just keep slowly falling out. And that really messes with your identity. It messes with your kind of conception of yourself. Your whole face is changing. And I have the kind of chin and neck. Well, my chin's fine, but my neck, when I'm carrying weight, it's really a good example of like why dudes like their beards, because it gives us this appearance of a big jawline. I have a fine jawline. There's nothing wrong. I think I actually have an above average skull. But yeah, so I've just held on to it forever because it's uncomfortable. And it's exactly what I have understood is that I just don't like shaving it all off would have been about other people's comfort. And I just didn't care that. I mean, I obviously cared enough that it affected me because it's stressful, but it's not about the vanity is part of it. Let me not act like it's not part of it. But it's more complex than just vanity, I guess is how I would want you to understand. I gotta get my fan on me. Hold on a second here. Good shot of the chin. The neck. My neck is so gross, frogs are trying to mate with me. And I'm like, chill out. I don't need another 4,000 children. I already got enough. I've already got... Have you ever seen a whole pond have babies of frogs? It's crazy. All of a sudden, there's just like millions of frogs running around. I'm going to try to wrap this up because it's kind of a depressing topic. But yeah, so I just sort of held on to it as it's sort of been slowly erasing, almost like a project, almost like a documenting the calamity as opposed to just giving into it. And you can go back to other videos of mine and stuff, some TikToks and lots of the Winners and Losers channel, and you can see my beard in its patchy form and through COVID and all this other stuff, and I still haven't gotten medical help for it. There might have been some interventions. My goal in life is to get to a point where I can maybe grow it back. Like, see, this has been doing this where it doesn't open up the inventory. Right? Like, see how it doesn't open up the... It's weird. I might have to lower it or something. Yeah, so I don't recommend it. I don't think I think you don't need to hear too much more in terms to go, oh geez, that probably sucks. Fucking beard falling out. In a sense, it almost validates the mental and emotional stresses as opposed to saying, I'm having lots of mental and emotional stress. Please trust me. Please trust me. I could just point at the beard and be like, look, physical evidence, because people have to trust you. And even then they might not necessarily grasp it. Whereas when you have a more physical thing, like a broken bone, that's immediately understandable to see someone's bone protruding from their shin skin. Shins. How do they find a way to make that fucking gross? So these things... Still not, nope. Yeah, see, they're done, man. We emptied this box fast. It's all up here. I love it. I do think I need to lower this just a touch. That's fine. That won't be too hard. Anyway, I was kind of stubbornly sticking with the. It was down to a soul patch. I still have like other spots. It's annoying because I still have to like fully shave, even though it's kind of weakened. And I've lost hair on my arms and my legs, and I still have chest hair and belly hair. There's a small patch that's losing here, but that doesn't seem to be spreading. I'm losing hair up in my hair. I went bald like properly, like horseshoe shaped, whatever they call male pattern baldness in like at age 19 and into my 20s. And so I've been through that journey. I was fortunate that it was fast, actually. Like the going bald slowly over 20 something years is where dudes really get lost in the anguish and the stress of it all. And I happen to have a very nice skull, by the way. So I had matured into being a bald guy with a beard and glasses, which is a very like Nintendo Wii character kind of guy. So you see dudes that look exactly like you, like, ugh, Jesus. Thank God I got a slightly above average skull shape. See, look at these guys. See? A monument to my peoples. And so I was fine with being bald, though. You spend $20 every 10 years on your hair to buy a new buzzer. Literally. Like, I hear about people spending all their money on their goddamn, women spend hundreds and hundreds, and men spend dozens and dozens, if not hundreds. It seems to be, you don't have to spend anything, but it's a hassle. It's all these fibers slowly oozing out of your head. I like being bald. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I might even. Yeah, I don't. If you said get a full head of hair, I probably would stay with where I was. I looked fine, and I had a nice beard. But then the beard went away, and it took a lot. It took a long time, and I just stubbornly held on to it. And then in the last videos, though, it got to the point where this side of my face, above the lip, was gone, but I still had the mustache all the way on this side, and down here, and it was looking. I mean, it was always looking horrible. But it was really looking like I had a Hitler mustache on camera, and it was driving me crazy in the last several episodes. I was like, this doesn't look good. It's not like I was thinking people thought I had a full face. I knew I looked bad. I just sort of gave up on the idea that I'm a guy whose looks are going to mean much. Yes, there's vanity. Okay, so let's get... what are we doing here? We're going to move this cart. I have to, like, flip it in order to grab it, but it has to be. There we go. Nice. I could have ripped it apart, I guess. Yeah. So I knew the day would come, and I kind of thought I would hang on to the whole thing until it all just went away. Like I was saying, I still got to shave these like little patchy bits. There's still parts of it on my neck and sides, but I'm losing hair up on the side of my head. There's a patch in the back of my head that's falling out. So not looking or feeling great. And if I could get to a point in life where I can get my hair to grow back because I get the stress levels to a point that I can sustain, and that means income, that means stability, that means I'm always going to be, I want to have some income, not even like rich guy kind of thing. Of course, I'll take that, but I just want to be able to feel okay and not feel so fucking worried and scared and messed up all the time. And but I'll still be stressed out with that, but it'll be a very different stage. And I spend a lot of energy managing this emotional kind of storm system inside me. That's a major partly why this project I'm doing is also taking forever. And why I even do this video game stuff, because this is like a break from all that, even though I don't really get breaks for myself. But, you know, this is like a more part of the output I want to be doing, that if things finally work, I hope that there's a video game component to it, because I like this kind of stuff. I like building empty shelves in my strange, lonely man place. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, you know, it's time, let's just get rid of it. So I have a little buzzer, and I buzzed it off. I thought I was going to make it a big dramatic thing. I just did it. I just was like, fuck it. And then I had to shave off. I haven't seen, so the hair on my mustache over here and under my lip here were still full. Like that was still the final holdout. This is like what Earth is going to be like as global warming eats away where food can be grown. It was this very thick, and I finished that by shaving it, and I haven't felt that in a while. I haven't felt a proper beard shave in quite a while, and the skin was a little tender because it hasn't been shaved in a very long time. I have shaving cream, and I have I had to change my razor. I was still using this old razor, but it didn't need to be the sharpest, so I had to get a fresh, sharp razor and shave it. And I have not felt that resistance and that like gritty, grindy kind of when it's cutting through all those thick hairs, all that. And what I see now, and I'm not going to get up on the camera, but that 5 o'clock shadow thing is partially like when you're fully shaved, it's almost all the way gone, but all those follicles are still just underneath your skin, and so your face always has that little bit of coloring, even when it's fully shaved. And then the shadow, you know, as soon as the hairs come back within a couple of hours, they start to grow out. I mean, they grow all the time, but it's that, and I've experienced that since I started growing facial hair 30 years ago or whatever the fuck. So it's not like I'm not unaware of the thing, but it was still kind of I was a little bit surprised just earlier, just being like, oh man, I got to shave. I haven't felt a real shave thing. But it's also just a little bit of my face. It's just weird, sad. If there's ever a film or some sort of story, that'll be like a little moment in the movie of just like, well, I guess I got to do it. And I don't look, it's not, yeah, I look better without it. I very much, of course, look better without having this asymmetrical, fucked up facial hair. But I don't look good without a beard. I look way, way better with a beard. So maybe I'll get my back hair transplanted onto my facial hair. Yeah, man. Bummer. What a strange thing. Check out the project on Winners and Losers, and there's a justice opportunity in this whole story about it's calling out a powerful person and trying to fix something that went wrong and educate, hopefully too. I bet it's one of the other things I've been working on a bunch lately is a big plan. I know it's taken forever, but it's reaching out to these dudes spawning in. Oh, maybe the door being open is how they're getting in. How'd you get in here? Get the heck out of my house. All right, well, let's go to bed. And when we wake up, we'll have adventure. What are we at, 30 minutes? Okay. Yeah, all right. Thanks for hearing me. It's a weird thing to... I don't think most people feel this. Go through the loss of their beard. Imagine others have, and they probably can understand. But most people don't necessarily get it. Obviously, why would you? I don't expect them to, but it messes. I could have done without that added stress. Things were hard enough. It would have been nice just to keep things the way they were in terms of the follicle ratios of my body. I was fine with it. Okay. So we're gonna go. There's a boat down there. We're gonna do. Let's get some bread. I gotta do some bread baking. Not that we're doing that on the camera, but see, because now I gotta keep fucking shaving it. So it's still gonna grow. So I gotta still do the damn shaving. And I just didn't want to bother with any of that. It's annoying. But it is what it is. At least now I won't have this feeling when I'm watching myself on camera and doing the other podcasts of being like, I look like I have a Hitler mustache. It sucks. Okay. Not that I even get enough attention or that even reaches any sort of threshold anyway, but all right. So we're going to bring basically, we don't need to really. Why am I carrying around the lock's cape? Okay. I want to run up to the top. Here we go. Put that away. I'm going to grab... Do I have... All right. Let's just reload this thing. So, you do your laundry while you're at the movies. Turn the dryer on. That's what this is. Do it best when it's happening and you're at. All right. Actually, you know what makes sense? A portal. What are we going to call this? Terra back. I got to come up with a better term. I don't know. I'm usually pretty good with words. So this way we can easily... I don't have it built yet, but... Terra back. Ugh. Sun's killing it. It's funny. All right. Oop. Terra back. Let's see. I got to come up with a better system here. But using it is why it's going to be how we're going to be able to figure it out. But you got to remember to bring enough for the next one. I think I messed up. 10, 20. Okay, 10, 20, fine. But, oh, I did. Okay. Oh, I literally didn't mess it up at all. All right. Yes. Excited for this adventure. Okay. Just looking for maybe bringing a second hoe. That's what I'm thinking about, but I think we're okay. Oh, yeah. Before we go, I just want to hop up. Got my secret little jumping spot there. Just to give you a sense, because one of the issues I think we're going to have, oops, is draw distance. All right. So first of all, check out the base. Looking much more symmetrical. I love seeing these two sort of foundation, this like long foundational bridge hallway thing. 2 platforms on the left, the 2 platforms on the right. I love that. Isn't that look good? And we're going to get rid of a bunch of this crap back here. So those forests, those trees down there are going to tear those out. And we've got a lot of work to do with this outcropping and this outcropping. I want to build the superstructure monuments, which will be fun. I think I'll do the fish. I'm picturing the fish over there, maybe over here, but most of the time we'll be returning to base from this direction. And so it almost makes more sense for the fish to be closer to that. I'm just not sure if draw distance is going to be a factor from when we look backwards or from looking at the base from the water. How far away we'll be able to see something. So I might even build like a test billboard over here. And but overall, this is sort of the plan, is that this whole area is going to become like a terraces and swamps and not swamps. You know, stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Oops. I think I would just take, I literally built like ways down. I don't know why let me get some wood though. Let's just do that real fast since it's on the brain. And then, right, like it'll look cool. So we can see the base nice and good from over here. Which means the fish will be visible from the base, is what I'm saying. We like that. I should have grabbed some core wood, but that's all right. This is all going to get ripped out. I could just already tell how awesome it's going to be if this works. And eventually maybe we'll get a better computer, you know. That would probably help. I have a 1080 Ti and a AMD Ryzen 3700X. Really good. AMD wasn't... It's been years since I've seen computer stuff, so I don't know where they are compared to Intel anymore. But for a while they were like sort of a junk. They're always behind Intel. And then all of a sudden... they came roaring back. And we're competitive. This is pretty cool. All right, maybe we'll just write the word fish on there and call it a day. You know what? I was actually just about to... just because I get a feeling we're going to get messed with by dweebs. We'll at least give it a fighting chance. Okay. And I think that the first step to this whole project, get out of here, is to build a stairway straight down, basically right where I'm standing. Lined up with the fireplace in the middle of the kitchen, right? So this will be sort of the center line. And then that'll go, I'll probably, you know, it'll have landings here and there. Okay. I kind of feel like I need to angle that thing. I'm also needing to decide what kind of angle we want this thing at, right? Like, what if they built Mount Rushmore and those dudes were like facing the wrong side, you know? Yeah, so we'll have stairs coming down into here. I think with this creek thing, we're going to do like a bridge, because I'm going to want bridges over there. So it'll be like sort of above this creek stuff. So the bridge will there'll probably be a lot of structure. I'm kind of doing this on the fly in my brain right now. Starting at that layer right there, we'll do structure. I mean, it's going to be structure all over the place, but this is a huge project. It's like bigger than any other ones I've done. And then I want to have some sort of base, basically where I'm standing. Probably, you know, incorporating this rock somehow. And then along the shoreline, I want it to be like ocean stuff. But I got to figure out a way to haul metal up. I might just have to take slow walking, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. But if I can load up a cart, but you know, it's still uphill no matter what. So either it's switchbacks. Mushrooms. Ooh, 2 in a row. Ding, ding, indeed. Okay. Yeah. So this will be like a... What the hell is this even called then? Twin rock? Do I even have a... Yes, I do. Yes, I could eat another bite. Huh. Okay. Oh, I should have brought food. No, we're not going to repair. Oh, no wonder. Okay. All right, this is exciting. Away we go on our trip. Time for music. Let's turn off continuous music. So we're going to take a longer loop just to see if we can see. And like in that river, this big old river here, there's a lot of rocks. There's going to be a lot of like landscaping to do. Tearing out rocks, widening, deepening, turning it into a canal. So, all right, let's see. Keep your eyes peeled on the trees. Will we see the board? See how draw distance is already bad? Show the board. Nah, I can't see it. I'm going to turn it into shore. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. Sorry. I wasn't patient. I was looking at the wrong damn hill. Okay. Yes. All right, but now let's see where it disappears. Now it's already loaded because we were up there. So the big test will be returning from a journey. I'm trying to steer this thing. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's not great. I was kind of wanting it to be visible from like the other side of the lake. So, hey, all the more reason to work hard, earn that money, somehow get that better computer. Is there draw distance settings anyway? Graphics. Yeah, I have it on very high. All right, that's okay. It'll still be fun to build the big structures. So here we go. We're going to go over here, build our little construction base. Might even be possible to like build channels through this narrow spot. That might save us some time when we decide to go southwest. I've been wanting to do this forever. It's been like months on my brain. This part of the project, just like scouting it out. So I'm a guy with no facial hair anymore. It's real, I mean, who the hell knows? Maybe stress had nothing to do with it. Maybe it was just genetics, environmental something, something. Someone has a monkey paw. And used a wish on me. That's possible. I haven't been talking about Babylon 5. Not that I'm going to get into it real heavy right now, but I've been watching I think there's only 5 seasons, but I'm in the middle of season 5. I love crazy sci-fi. It is wild. It is a wacky ass show. I highly recommend it if you like Star Trek. First season is a slog if you're sensitive. I have a very high tolerance for kind of weird, bad sci-fi, although I don't watch every little low-budget sci-fi movie, even though there's so many of them, and I probably would enjoy a lot of them. I've watched, obviously, quite a few, but I get bored really quickly when it's just like, we're in the future. We have, like, 4 rooms, and they're gray, and we have a couple of shots of the outs. It's like, this isn't really a story. I'm not really digging this. So, but Babylon 5 is a whole ass thing, man. It was a big show in the 90s, meaning they had a budget, but it was like, it's its own thing, which is what I really like about it, is that it's very, obviously there's a few of the tropes here and there, and there's stuff that you could easily criticize, but man, it really is its own ass thing. See, look, we got a local hanging out. You there! What are you doing on my land? Have you not seen my paper that says I own this place? Look, it says here, I own it. Do you disagree? Then I will bring in more violence to assert my ownership. Oh, ownership didn't exist until I got here, of course. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. He didn't even get mad. Maybe I hit a mosquito on his back. Alright, so look at this. Where do we go? We want to go. We're going to take our boat in and out all the time. Yeah, this is going to be a massive ass project. A lot of it's in the water. So that huge rock in the middle there, like centered that I'm kind of shaking it on, that's going to be a pain in the butt. I wonder if just... Alright. Because the main wave coming will be from the north. I could, okay. What am I doing here? I'm almost thinking of just, yeah. I know, I'm going to get out in a second. I'm just kind of doing some surveying here. Me and my son HW Plainview are hammering spikes into the ground because we're paying them coil prices. We're not going to give them oil prices, boy. We're going to give them coil prices. There's an ocean of oil. Roar. So, sorry, fish, your pristine little nature's preserve. Nature, even calling that word preserve is colonial as heck. Colonial AF. But yeah, this beautiful little undisturbed corner of you know, eons and eons of geological processes. Even someone had tried to build the heck, they put like a thing up there. They had tried to build something of a home. I mean, maybe that'll be like a lookout tower I'll build. But look, I could easily do, I think we could carve right through here. So we need to build a channel that makes this turn easy. And we were basically just imagining like a top-down shot of a road system. And then we need to be able to make this turn easily. All these lily pads, all these mating grounds for salamanders and weird bugs and frogs that eat the weird bugs. So this is not traversable yet. Now this rock is going to be a major issue, so I think avoiding that. So either we avoid it this wise or we carve around it this wise. I bet it's a little bit deeper. Let's just take a picture of this moment here, shall we? Oops. You gotta hit escape. Yeah. Let's do it like right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Boy, I feel terrible for what I'm about to do to this area. I'm gonna totally... It's just... This game is exactly what the European project has done to the planet. Not that they're precisely the only ones, but the notion of assuming all authority over land in order to turn it into its productive enterprise of producing decorations for people that use violence to assert control. But that is what it is. That's why it's a video game. This is kind of a special moment, though, here, actually. I feel really sad. Where's that music? The fuck? I said I told it not to do continuous, but right when I want music, I feel like I need some. Take off your mask. That's appropriate music. This is all mine. The water, the air, the stone, the earth, even space above, even everything below. It's mine. Your body is mine. Your body will give me what I need when I want it. My needs are wants. My wants are needs. Roar! I'll give you enough to keep you alive. Only if you obey. Okay. Oh, I was liking that song. It was like the perfect song. It turned me into an evil, land-stealing not even usurper, destroyer. I was doing the evil side of this project. Why did it get rid of that great song? That was such a perfect... Damn it. It really killed the mood, dude. All right. And then navigating this river is going to be awesome. I'm so excited about this. This is so good. Okay, so let's build our little base. So I think right here is fine, right? Come on. May the first blow be the strongest. Oh, it went away fast. There is something poetic in a horror kind of way of the shovel ceremony, where the suits show up and they get to wear... Oh, I should probably put on my safety clothing. Good thing I had my safety knife. The suits show up and they wear pristine hard hats and they're in their fucking business suits, the uniform of theft and empire and control. And they performatively shovel. It's a pile of shovel. There's a pile of dirt in the parking lot or something. They might go to the construction site, or they might actually, but it's not useful work. It's just purely for the photo. Something for the investors and for the order giver class to take. Here it goes. How dare you? How dare you? You've invaded my home. All right. Say goodbye, beautiful land. Yeah, that shovel moment. Because I have this whole notion of like work and labor and all this kind of this thing we spend our lives doing that we don't really think too much about, besides maybe the specifics of your job or something. But like, what exactly is it all? And even in the greatest kind of conception of a human cooperative working together to make everybody's life one with dignity, we're still going to be altering the earth. We're still going to be changing the land. I'm not, that still is a major part of it. Thus the requirement and the tragic absence of responsibility towards it and towards ourselves and towards each other, when it's only done in service of misery. And these days we're seeing this is not a topical channel or show, but Donald Trump and Elon Musk are having a big fight, and they're both fully committed to the project of enriching themselves while immiserating the rest so that they can compel labor. But my project is about working, and what does it all mean? And I have this kind of conception of handle proximity. That is to say, tools. Thus, when you're actually doing the work, the actual grunt part, the part where your body breaks down. I lost use of my wrists from my woodworking job. The part where you're making someone else wealthy off that and paying a steep price, such as losing the ability to use your hands for the rest of your life. And yet we have this massive complex social chemical it's a social reaction of of society, of what the economy does. And for so many, people who don't do anything besides have meetings and give orders are reaping enormous benefit in a way that is just like, I don't know, I don't call it criminal, but it's just, it's just imposing scarcity on others in order to compel work. And what am I trying to say? The idea of it, though, is that like the actual work is done closer to the earth. So financialized type of productivity, meaning you're a day trader. Maybe you're not even making a ton of money, but you're making money off of just making decisions about trades that are that itself, you could argue, is some form of productivity of producing something, but it's not the same as driving a truck or cleaning a bathroom or working in a factory to build crap. I don't know why I'm doing this much here. I'm gonna end up tearing it out soon, or not. I don't know about soon, but so like we should privilege and prioritize the actual part of working and the labor that's done domestically inside homes. The amount of effort people put into child care and husband care should be compensated or at least supported. All right. what do I call it? Teraback? I just don't, the thing is, I don't like it going off all the time. When you're just up here doing something, you're close to it, so I'm going to build it. And I just think our conception of the purpose of it all is broken. Because it serves people who don't actually use tools or handles, right? Like they're the ones that are just leeching off of the labor of others, and they have this technology that they're, you know, highly abusive ancestors came up with, which is ownership, which is to say, this is mine. This affords me the rights, you know, a certain set of rights that you don't get. And I'm not saying like the answer, don't be stupid about it, is erase that concept and then it goes away and everything's solved. I'm not like naive about this. I went to school for industrial distribution management. I literally studied manufacturing and efficiency as a, you know, not that I had some great calling to it, but it's what called to me when I was in business school, because it was the most like systems and engineering sort of side of the business school. That's what I now look back and see why I was drawn to it. And just that this whole notion should be about, like, we should work at the project of liberating us from work. Like, humanity should be saying, like, you know, remember back in the 1990s when they worked 40-hour weeks, and then in 2008 we shifted that to 36-hour weeks, and we were all much better off, and now we've got technology and production thanks to innovation. Now we only have to work 32-hour weeks, and now we get to take 28-hour weeks, and now it's 2028, and we're going to shoot for, you know, making it down to 2-day work weeks, or, you know, but with options to do things differently. Not everybody has to conform to this, but we all prefer. What's the point of this all? If we're going to cook the goddamn planet and make it so that we can't live here anymore, it's not even like we're doing that to make everybody happy. If we had a world where we got to have healthy connections and you got to explore your different hobbies, or you got to rest as much as you wanted and you had to work some, but you didn't have to, it wasn't so ridiculous, and that was causing the environment to be destroyed, we should then change that so we don't destroy the environment. It's not negotiable. That's the fundamental shift we need about the environment. Is it's not fucking negotiable that we can kill the planet. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, and then you individualize it all. You get all these like you know, get these hyper individualist sort of ideas, or I think it's your, you know, it's this massive collective thing that we have to navigate. So anyway, I know I'm up on my high or my soapbox here a little bit, but I just think we need a different conception of the point of it all. I like doing these kind of curvy things around the... Like at the company I worked for, where I started the union, I didn't feel respected in any way. I'm talking about the Young Turks. And... you know, you have somebody come in to work for you, and you call them part-time on paper while they work 40-hour weeks for zero benefits. That is a deep and profound sense of dehumanizing disrespect, which is why we unionized, as well as other stuff. But we gotta come at this problem from where we currently are. I speak a lot in a sense. It's almost gets to sound like sci-fi fantasy BS. But anyway, what am I even trying to get at? Let's get to work here. Where are we at? Oh my god, we're at an hour. That's a good spot to stop, actually. I think starting work in the next episode. Got our little base going. This will probably evolve into something. You know, this whole thing is iterative, but yeah, this is cool. I think we're gonna cut this whole pathway through here. This looks very doable. And then another pathway through there. Oh, this is so fun. I loved it. I knew that I was going to have a blast doing this. And it's going to be so rad when we finally get to take the boat. And eventually I do want to see if I can just cut it through there. This will be the big test when we go south. But first phase 1 will be the northern side, since that's where most of our stuff is. And then we're going to do this too. This is a big one. This is so much fun, man. All right. Episode 20 in the can. I'm trying to take notes and be a bit more deliberate so I don't confuse myself constantly like I do with all the damn folders that I mess up. So check mark for recorded. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're okay. Hope you're doing well. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to rest. Don't beat yourself up. You're never going to be perfect. That's a trick that they got you to believe you're supposed to. All right. Bye now.